Hey guys, what's going on? James here. In this video today, I am joined by the co-host of the Cannon Fire podcast. You've seen him on on the channel here a lot as the voice of Mr. Evan Wanish. Evan, how you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. It's been a little bit since I've been on a video, I feel like. So, happy to be back.
Yeah, and today we're talking about, well, a not very happy topic, okay? Now, you actually don't know what we're talking about today. You told me you didn't want me to tell you, but here we go. We're talking about Randy Gregory. And I can already hear you go, "Oh boy, here we go." You guys spoke about this recently on the Cannon Fire podcast with Rock Riley. It inspired me to make this video today because we haven't heard anything from Randy Gregory. And according to Rock Riley, who's in those media conversations, who is in the know, nobody knows what the heck's going on with Randy Gregory. Is that an accurate thing to say, Evan?
Yeah, pretty much. It is a weird situation. Obviously, the Buccaneers, you would have assumed, would have had some type of dialogue, right, with Randy Gregory. They don't have to tell the media, right, everything that those conversations were like, but the vibe that I got from, talking with Rock Riley, was that, they really don't know. Like, it's sort of like a not seen, not heard type deal. So I really don't know. Things are really in the dark right now between the Buccaneers and Randy Gregory. We don't know how much the lawsuit he has against the NFL, how much that has to do with it. I would assume that's it. I mean, I don't think there's any issues on the Bucs end. I don't know why he would sign if there was. But it is weird and it is strange that it's kind of there doesn't seem to be much dialogue, if any, between the Buccaneers and Randy Gregory right now. So if you read the room right there, it probably tells you that the two sides are headed for a divorce, before Gregory ever even puts on a Buccaneers uniform. But just a really weird situation all around.
Yeah, and man, the question of this video today is going to be: is it time for the Buccaneers to move on from Randy Gregory? I heard you say in the podcast episode that you don't expect him to be with the Bucs come week one. At this point, I don't expect him to be with the Bucs come week one. And look, I don't want to completely harp on the guy because we don't necessarily know what's going on in that situation, and you know we don't want to assume like that he's a bad guy. I don't think Randy Gregory is a bad guy, but the fact that we have no information, no communication here, and it seems like from the Bucks organization's perspective of this, like it is non-excused. It doesn't spell a great picture for Gregory. Is that accurate to say?
No, it doesn't at all. And I mean, you want to talk about first impressions are so important, right? Randy Gregory's first impression is less than ideal. So, certainly not the impression I think the Bucks wanted him to make. I really don't know what's going on, and we don't know we don't even know the full details, of the lawsuit, right? We know what it's genuinely about or generally about, but we don't know the exact details. So yeah, there's been better first impressions. Let me just say that. I think probably I would assume the only time Randy Gregory, now I don't know this for sure, but the only time Randy Gregory was in the facility was maybe the day he signed. Like I really don't know. So um it is interesting, but again, it feels like something the Bucks aren't really bothered by. That they're not sitting here really bothered by the situation, wondering where he is, when he's going to come. It's sort of like, they've moved on without actually releasing him. So that's why, I said on the pod, like, I don't expect Randy Gregory to be here come week one. Heck, I don't expect Randy Gregory to be here much longer anyway. Even I would be surprised if he's here by the third preseason game. So I just don't know how much longer they're going to want to deal with it. And unfortunately, it is an unfortunate situation. The good thing is right now they're not really, it doesn't seem like they're very distracted by this, right? This isn't something that is distracting them. It's sort of more drama for the media folks, just like me and you to sort of sit and talk about, right? It's something that they're not really too concerned about right now, which again is kind of strange. But I guess, like I said, they have seemed to have more confidence in their own guys, and they know more about the situation, or maybe a little bit more about the situation than we currently do.
Real quick, I just want to name a couple of guys that are out there in the free agent market. I mean, you both talked about this earlier today. This is being recorded on July 29th. Um, you could very well have a situation where the Bucs are happy with the guys that they have. They didn't sign. Whenever they did place Randy Gregory on that did not report list, they had an opening on their roster. They didn't sign an edge rusher.
Hmm.
And really, Evan, the only like four guys out there that I think you consider at this point, if you want to bring in somebody who can maybe give you some starting reps, I think even some cases can give you some starting reps, is like Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue, Charles Harris, and Tyus Bowser. And that's not exactly like, the best list in the world. That's just the
Hmm.
top four guys that are available right there. If the Bucs do fully move on from Gregory, do you see them adding another veteran into that mix, or do you see them just saying, "Hey, we have who we have. It is what it is."
Yeah, I mean, I do want to touch on the names that you mentioned first. You also mentioned that July 29th, right? And unfortunately, in July 29th in the NFL, when you look at the free agency list, those are the free agents that are going to be left, right? So, um, there's some intriguing names there, right? But I really don't know. I don't know if when they officially, decide to cut bait, whenever that may be. Like I said, I would expect it. So I'd be pretty surprised if he plays for the team, because I have to imagine there's got to be some Buccaneers front office members and some coaching staff and maybe even some players deep down. They're a little bit alienated right now. I mean, the players are out there, busting their butts, and Randy Gregory hadn't shown up yet. So I really don't know if they would use their resources to sign another edge rusher. They may just say, look. We're good, just like you said. Or it may depend on how guys look in the preseason. How does Yaya Diaby look? Looks pretty good in camp, but it's camp. How does Chris Braswell look? I think that could be an X factor. Braswell, if he looks good, is explosive, and makes a few splash plays, that may lead them to maybe believe, hey, we might not need Gregory right now, right? Like we may not need anybody right now. I personally do believe they still probably need a veteran pass rusher. So if it was up to me, I would probably sign one. But them, I do think it matters on how these players that they currently have on the roster, how they perform in the preseason. If and also you have to remember, NFL rosters get cut down after the preseason. There could be some other pass rushers available after the preseason. So that's they picked up Carl Nassib off of waivers from the Cleveland Browns after the preseason a few years ago. So I mean they've done that before with a pass rusher, and they could certainly do it again if there's a guy they like that's out there.
So let me ask you this: how much money has? Because remember, Randy Gregory is suing the NFL over like fines,
Yes.
basically, right? How much?
Yes.
How much
Yeah.
money has Gregory lost now without reporting to training camp?
So yeah, so I believe Greg Allman had reported. I believe the number is $400,000. Is the number that he has been fined by the NFL or the Bucks or whatever it may be. And I believe that number will go up if he misses preseason games. Like that number actually like goes up like significantly if you miss games. So I don't know the exact numbers on it, but he's already missed 400K. So it is a costly absence for Gregory.
Well, keep in mind too, he signed a 1 year, $3 million deal. That's almost a sixth of his contract.
Yeah.
That's just gone now because he's not reporting. So it's weird. It's weird, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. But I did want to talk about it. Just again, addressing this situation. I think it's time to move on. It kind of feels like the Bucks already have. Now I think it honestly just kind of becomes a question of do they add somebody else or do they feel okay with what they have? Do you have any final words before we go ahead and end this video, Evan?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a bummer for me. I mean, honestly, I it wasn't necessarily that like, oh, I'm the biggest Randy Gregory fan there is, but I felt that the Bucks needed a veteran pass rusher, and I felt that it was a solid deal to get Gregory and add that veteran pass rusher, and now they might not have that this coming season, and that to me that kind of hurts. So. Not saying, like I said, not saying Randy Gregory specifically, just the notion of having a veteran pass rusher, I think was pretty important, and now they may not have that as expected.
What do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. Go check out the episode that Evan had with Rock Riley over there at the Cannon Fire podcast. It's pretty good. I'm about halfway through it, and I've been loving the conversation so far. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.